Hello everyone. Good evening everyone. Welcome to this month's edition of the SkillUp Edutech Webinar. This is the second edition. Last month we had the first edition, which was the maiden edition of this wonderful webinar where we get to discuss opportunities, discuss the world of tech and the future of the digital world. And in this month's edition, it promises to be very exciting. I am super excited at what is we're going to be discussing today. I want to formally welcome everyone. I want to welcome everyone, those of us who are joining from YouTube and those of us that are joining from Facebook. I want to welcome every one of us. My name is Uti Matthew, and I'll be your anchor, and I'll be driving you through today's show. I'm going to be driving you through today's edition, today's episode. And I want you to stay tuned. I want you to stay tuned because we have amazing speakers who will come here and, drive us through the opportunities that we have in tech. In this month's edition, in this episode, we're going to be discussing the topic exploring tech opportunities, and we're touching past lessons, present possibilities, and clear pathways in the world of tech. And trust me, it's not something that you want to miss out on at all. And I want you to please stay tuned, follow through. You can drop in your questions in the comment section. We'll be taking questions, we'll be taking reviews, and we're going to be attending to every one of them. We're going to be attending to every one of them. So stay tuned, and you're going to be having an amazing ride together. I would like us to also properly review last month's edition. Last month we had an amazing time. We got to discuss the tech playground, and it's covered up a lot of things. We were introduced to the world of tech and how tech is driven by passion and the drive to want to solve problems and provide solutions to the everyday problems of humans as we live and breathe. Um, we can't not ignore the fact that the future of the world is digital, the future of the world is tech. And so last month we were able to explore every possibility, or let's say we're introduced to the possibilities that are in the world of tech. And this month we are going deeper, exploring much more possibilities, exploring much more things that are included and are encompassed in the world of tech. So I want you to actually stay tuned. I know, but before we continue, permit me to actually wish you a happy new year. This is the first time we are interacting together in this year, and so permit me, and from all of us at the SkillUp EdTech, we are wishing you a happy new year. Welcome to this new year, and I trust that in this year we will explore much more possibilities together. So very quickly, I would love us to just do a review. For those of us who are joining on YouTube or are joining on Facebook, I want us to quickly do a brief review of what we discussed last month. Maybe you want to drop what you learned from last month's edition. We'll take those review, and I'll probably read it from the studios here. You have something that really stuck to you, something that really stood out for you. I will just go over it very quickly. And for those of us that have joined in, please, you might want to share the links to your friends, your family, so that they can also join in. Because the truth is, gradually, everyone has to have a knowledge of tech at some point. No matter your career path, no matter what you have chosen to do in life, you would actually have to have a knowledge of tech, because every industry is now introducing tech, because that is the future. That is the future. Education, healthcare, environmental care, whatever it is, they are now infusing tech into it. So it's the future, it's the tomorrow, and we all have to be a part of it. So very quickly, share it to your friends, invite them, let them join in. Also, we would love us to take reviews. If you are here and you probably want to share something that really stood out from the last episode, let us do that in 1-2 minutes, and so that we can go right to it. I'm so pumped, I'm so excited. I can't wait for us to go into what we are discussing today. So very quickly, let's just get in, waiting to get in our reviews and all of those interesting things. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm in, but I'm not live. Okay. Welcome from that very short break. Um, Thank you and welcome again to this month's edition of the SkillUp Edutech Webinar. Like I said earlier, this is the second edition of this monthly series. And so that means that every month we'll be having this series and we're discussing world of tech. And like I said earlier, last month we discussed the tech playground. We had amazing guests, amazing teachers, amazing mentors come teach us about the world of tech and how the world of tech is being driven through. And in this month, we're going to be discussing the opportunities that are in tech. We're going to be discussing the opportunities in tech. We're discussing past experiences, the present possibilities, and know how the future of where we're going to. And so get your friends around, get your family, get everyone. At this point, everyone should be part of the conversation because, like I said earlier, the future is digital, the future is tech. In this month's session, we'll be discussing possibilities, like I said, opportunities in tech. And this month session is designed to guide those who are enthusiastic about tech, those who are professionals, those who want to shift careers into tech, and those who are looking forward to understanding the tech ecosystem. And that is basically what this month's edition is, or those who this month's edition is designed for. And if you fall under this category, or you know anybody who falls under this category, get them to join in, get them to be a part of the conversation. And trust me, it's going to be a jolly ride. I want to introduce our first guest so that we get into it because I'm super excited, I'm super pumped, and I trust that you feel the same way. But let me quickly just run a brief biography or about our guest. Let me just get you to meet our guest before you officially meet our guest. Our first guest is an accomplished senior software engineer at Prompting and former engineering manager for Law Pavilion. With nearly a decade of experience across the full tech stack, including React, JS, Node.js, and Laravel, he specializes in building scalable web solutions and leading high performing engineering teams. Currently pursuing an MSc in Computer and Information Sciences at Liverpool John Moores University, Kingsley combines deep technical expertise in JavaScript and DevOps with a passion for mentoring the next generation of developers. Ladies and gentlemen, our audience across YouTube and Facebook, please welcome our first speaker for this month's edition of the SkillUp EdTech webinar, Kingsley Akindele. Let's keep on
Yeah.
welcoming. Let's keep on clapping. Let's keep on
Am I
clapping.
audible?
Yes, sir. You're here with us. You're here with us. Welcome, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening,
Thank you.
Mr. Kingsley. How are you doing today?
Very, very well. I'm doing great. I'm good,
Yeah,
good. How are you
you look,
doing also?
yeah, I'm pretty well. I'm pretty good. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. You look calm. You look chill. You look collected. I love your glasses. Welcome to the show, sir. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here also. Thank you for having me. Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm super pumped too. You have no idea. I'm super pumped. You have no
Great.
idea.
Great
And
stuff.
I trust that
Great.
we're going to have a wonderful time in the next few minutes that we're going to be discussing.
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. Well,
All right, sir.
so yeah,
Just before we,
is the ball in my
all right.
court now?
Okay, just before jump right into it, and for some of us, we just love tech, and we probably just were invited by a friend, and we really do not know how to find our way around. And so, can you just, before you get right into teaching us, giving us the meat, could you just tell us how you found your way into tech? Has it been something that's been a passion right from birth, or something that you just ran into and then you just loved it and now you're here?
Okay, that's an interesting question. For me, it was pretty much a thing I got into by virtue of my association. So back in my undergraduate days, I have a bachelor's in computer science. So back in my undergraduate days, I would find a lot of my colleagues, my course mates, have talks within subject around uh, tech stacks, uh, digital meetups, tech meetups in and around town, here and there. So, of course, at some point, this spiked my interest, and of course, I would also join in all of these outings, getting my hands on a thing or two. We had courses that intimated us on into like some programming languages. So it was quite intriguing seeing what writing a bit of instruction can do, how this can get your computer to perform in quote magic, how you can solve simple problems just by writing instructions. Very fascinating, I promise you. So you know I got into it that way. So just as an undergraduate, of course, I gradually evolved into having to do in university kind of gigs. For example, say a year one student is having to do an assessment in computer science, or some biological sciences students who are doing some borrowed course in computer science or some computer engineering or electrical engineering courses. I jump right into it, make a little bit of money from it. Very interesting. Oh, I can make a living from this. Why not? Let's jump right into it. So that metamorphosed into me choosing it as a career, even right before I would leave the university and pro university, post university rather. Of course, it's been my route since then. So, of course, the story is a little more verbose than that, but simply put, that was just how I got into tech. My environment launched me into it.
So we can say that your company determines what accompanies you or what you can accompany. Is that what I mean? You're going to agree with that phrase that what your company determines what accompanies you or what you accompany. Which one would you agree? Is it what accompanies you or what you accompany? Which other part of the phrase would you agree with?
I think it works both ways. You are both influenced and you are also an influencer, whichever
All right,
cycle you find yourself. So it works both ways. You just have to be intentional and definite about the association you choose to be a part of.
all right.
So
Thank you very
yes,
much.
both
So
ways.
I think the ball is now in your court, and we're ready to enjoy everything that you have for us this evening. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you just once again. And this is me saying hi to all of our audiences, our listeners, our viewers everywhere. It's me saying hi. I'm very, very excited about this. I am looking forward to what the next couple of minutes would be for us because it's going to be very, very, very informative, enlightening, educative, and also interesting. So I want us to just, jump on this ride with me while we do this. Just like the anchor rightly introduced, we have an intriguing topic here exploring tech opportunities, the past lessons, present possibilities, and also a clear pathway into whichever or whatever anyone is open or looking to delve into. It's not a foreign topic. It's a topic that if you jump on any social space now, it's a topic that someone somehow is talking about in the tech ecosystem, particularly since the advent of AI, artificial intelligence. What's my next line of action is the question ringing in almost everyone's mind. So there is definitely a way around it to go. There are learnings to pick from past events. There are decisions to make as of now, and there are inferences to draw from past events in combination with current realities for the future. So this topic is, very packed, and I'm rest assured that it is going to give us like a lucid exposure even into this whole concern and booming topic of what's next, what's happening in tech. Is AI taking jobs? What's it like? What are we going to learn from the past? How do I have a career in tech? Is there still a place for a learner? Is there still a place for a beginner? All of this we are going to talk about in the next couple of minutes. Again, my name is Kingsley Akindele. All right. I say this session is not about hype, of course. It's about pattern recognition, timing, and execution. We can easily predict the future based off event that has happened in the past. This is a possibility in almost every sphere, even in finance. You find financial analysts make sense of what is going to likely happen in the financial market in the next decade, in the next couple of years, based off events that has happened in the past decade and in the past couple of years. So we are trying to put the same thing into play now. We are trying to, take a little bit of a microscope view into some of the things that has happened in the past, where we are currently, and the kind of future that likely awaits us, and how we can make the most of it, of course. So yeah, it's about pattern recognition from the past, timing, and also execution right now. Why this conversation matters? Tech does not move in straight line. It compounds quietly. It doesn't move in straight line. It compounds quietly. So how do you approach, or how do you think of an investment portfolio, for example, that had X amount in it 10 years ago, and what is happening to it just now? It is often spoken about such accounts that it has compounded because the increase or interest of every year accrues, and it goes from being a geometric progressive interest to something that we can call an exponential growth, an exponential increase in that portfolio. So just think about that in this same context. It doesn't move in a straight line. It doesn't move in one, then two, then three, then four, then five, then six, down to 10. No, it doesn't necessarily happen like that. It happens in one, in two, in three, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, then 30, 50, it goes on like that. So the quality of the decision and step anyone is able to make now can define largely what is to happen, and eventually it accrues, it accumulates, all right, and it compounds essentially. So most opportunities are obvious in insight, not at bet. We can only tell that something is great because we are at the point of experiencing it as a great thing. Just while it is at the formative time, just while it is still brewing, chances are pretty that some people will say, "Oh, that's it. We could take a bet on this." Some could say, "You know what? Let's ditch this. There is no future in this." So, how exactly do we approach? How exactly do we make a judgment of the quality or the future of any tech stack, tool, or whatever it is? Okay, so the real skill is not just about knowing tools. It's not just about identifying tools, jumping on bandwagons of usage and all of those interesting stuff, albeit, but it is rather about seeing trajectories early, having to identify patterns, having to tell where the end goal or likely end goal of a certain possibility or item or tool or trend is headed. Okay, So the mental model for this talk is simple. I want us to think in three layers. I had already spoken about this even earlier while I was introducing us into what we have for today: signals, leverage, and timing. Pardon my bias for frequently making reference to the financial markets. I dare to believe that it's a subject that almost every one of us, if not all, are definitely familiar with, because of course we buy, we sell, we save, we invest. We're in a generation where where finance is being spoken of more often, particularly because of our exposure to the media space, social media, precisely. So I want to understand that some of this concept can be much more understood if being laid in comparison with a relatable subject like finance. So yeah, signal, leverage, and timing. So there are weak indicators that most people ignore. And there are also places where small efforts create disproportionate value, not early versus late, but early enough. So it is very likely, just like I said, that some opportunities are lying in insight. They are easily missed. We can easily, ignore them because, oh, what's this going to look like? This has no people are not talking about this. When I log on Twitter, when I log on TikTok, what are the tech communities they are mostly talking about? Perhaps that could be like the next big guy. That could be what everyone is gonna. That's gonna be like what is gonna be the future of tech. Could that be true? Are there certain are these finite or quality metrics by which we can measure or the future of some of these things, particularly as they pertain to stacks, tools, and all that? So yeah, we are paying attention to these things: the signals, the leverage, and also the timing. Is it the right time? Am I doing this? Is this something that I should have done before now? Am I late to this? Can I still catch up? It's just like now everyone is talking about AI, and now it's like the definition of AI 2 years ago is not the definition of AI today, and now everyone is in a limbo. Am I on point? Am I losing relevance? 2 years ago, when you say AI, you most likely would be thinking about ChatGPT only. But if you say AI today, it literally has crept into every of our daily activities. Some of us don't even often jump to Google first for our search. We have a myriad of options to pick from for generative AI search. For our work, there are tools that have been implemented into our workflows that helps or aids our whatever it is we're doing. So essentially, AI makes a different meaning now. So you could be thinking, am I what is there an entry point for me here? Oh, I am just some front end engineer. I'm just some back end engineer. Oh, I'm just some cybersecurity specialist. What's my point of entry here? Do I just stick to taking advantage of ChatGPT to help my work, or Cursor, Cloud, all of those interesting AI guys? Do I just bring them and just keep using them? Do I remain a user, or how can I contribute to the involvement or the evolution of this popular guy that is in the town now called AI? Where exactly do I come in? So all of these questions we have in mind. So how do we actually approach it? So let's take learnings from events of the past. Talking about the mistakes that some of us keep making. We make mistakes like overestimating new inventions and underestimating infrastructural shifts. I cited the example of AI AI just a few moments ago. When most people think of AI a while back, they are thinking of chatbots, they are thinking of all of those stuff. Meanwhile, this is the guy that is not just those. While those are like very relevant, they are not all there is to the subject of AI. So it's easy to join the bandwagon of, oh, AI did this. Oh, I could change my photograph into some whatever. I could do this. I could do that. I could, and then you realize that years down the line, you've just been a user of it. You've not been able to like being a major contributor to this movement. So where exactly do you come in? So it's an invention. It is interesting. It is everywhere. It is shiny. However, there is a major infrastructure shift that is happening. That even as an engineer, even as a designer, even as a cybersecurity analyst, whichever arm of tech you happen to fall under, it is very much imperative that you pay attention to the infrastructural shift. I'll give you an example. Just about 2 3 years ago, personal example, when ChatGPT was just popular, I'm talking of like 2023, early mid 2023. If I would use ChatGPT to assist me in my work, particularly when I am trying to code, I'll most likely not be convenient to allow people see my screen that is what I am using to assist me to work, because now it feels like, oh, you are not able to do your work capably. Is that what it means? But now that's not the case. Rather, the yardstick is different. We are measuring quality of engineers based on people who can take advantage of AI to ship faster, to build and deploy things faster, and also build quality codes. Especially seeing that AI assisted engineering or development comes with its own limitations and also its own flaws. So the metric is changing. The system, the paradigm is shifting very fast. So rather than just paying attention to the usage, just being an end user and just, why not pay attention to the shift that is literally happening? A while back, building a web app just requires JavaScript, HTML, and CSS knowledge. It has changed largely. People who did not pay attention to the shift fast enough, they were left out in the switch, they were left out in the change. So essentially, it is imperative that we do not repeat this mistake. I'll try to go very fast just because of time. So there are also overlooked, underestimated trends. AI as infrastructure, not a product. I've spoken about this already. Most people chase chatbots. Few people focus on AI in backend workflow, AI as co-pilots or assistants inside existing system. AI replacing glue codes are not engineers. It can replace an engineer. It can't necessarily replace an engineer. Even companies that are building the big AI tools, Anthropic and all of those interesting guys, on their career page, they still have like a long list of spaces they are trying to fill for engineers, but there is an infrastructural shift. One must just pay attention to what exactly is changing. Gone are the days where I could build a website because I'm a PHP developer and that is it. I can mix it with a stack on the front end, maybe React or Angular, and that's it. It is gradually changing. Things are evolving. The definition of a full stack engineer is changing. It's no longer being able to build on the front end and the back end. It is evolving into being able to, like one of my friends would say, it's a full stack engineer is someone that can single-handedly build a startup if allowed. So while it sounds like, oh, you are being ushered into the space of being a generalist, it's not necessarily the case. There are nuances to it that you must pay attention to carefully, watching the switch and the change of these infrastructures. I'll try to run very fast because of time. So I'll just take a sneak peek into like the blockchain space, a perfect example. Instead of paying attention to speculations or what is happening, the price, especially maybe in decentralized finance, or the shift of or the volatility of the market. Oh, I need to jump on this. Oh, this is the new blockchain guys that are out. Oh, there's the Monad guys now. Let me jump on Monad. Let me start building on Monad. While these things are very interesting, actually, it may not necessarily be what anyone should be focusing on. Monad is not like the odds guy, GM everywhere on every Web3 groups, but it's changing. A while back, it was some other guys that were in the market, people were building on their chain. Things are changing very fast. What is that thing that you can rather focus on that can give you an advantage? Things like paying attention to on and off ramps, compliance tooling, things like you are able to, okay, like say you're a backend engineer, how do you build for Web3? How do you build for, think of several use case, maybe a system that is trying to merge multiple say multiple chains, multiple kind of bridge swaps and all that into just one app, and they need like a backend engineer to harmonize this functionality. Can you give a 1 minute submission that puts to perspective a start to end likely workflow for this engineering, for this development? Okay, so things are changing very fast. Engineers are not going to get out of phase. Engineers are not going to get out of needs, out of being needed, but rather the needs or demands that will be placed on them is what is changing, and we need to pay attention to this thing. what we should have learned earlier, adoption is not equals to headlines. Like I said, the fact that it is popular, you see it all over the internet. Every meetup it is being spoken about. There are hangouts here and there, tech hangout, and that's the only thing being spoken about. It does not necessarily equals the volume of adoption happening. Check what is happening on every company's Slack channel, Discord channel, Microsoft Teams channel. That is exactly where you can tell what is actually being adopted. So opportunity hide in your ability to talk about or build maintainable things, tools or solutions, to the extent of you being able to build systems that are reliable, systems that are secure, and systems that have solid compliance with whatever it is the system is related with. Okay, so all of these key things I have already spoken in touching all of these areas. All of these key things are the things that anyone and everyone should pay attention to now. Very quickly, today's tech landscape, of course, we are in a phase of tool saturation. There are a lot of it. There are just so much options to pick from. I remember when I started coding, I do not mean to, sound that way, but you get my point. When I started coding, then I was a PHP developer with a company then. I remember that the options we had to pick from was usually between PHP Storm, VS Code, and Notepad++. And I kid you not, we had engineers in the company then who were using Notepad++. We didn't have so much. I think was it Atom? We had there's this other guy that looks like Sublime Text. So yeah, we had like those guys. But if you look at it now, they are just so much. I literally imported all of my settings from VS Code into Cursor. Like there are just many guys now. Is that what really matters? Being up to date with trends, is that what really matters? I doubt it, because you cannot meet up with a trend. It's running faster than you can ever catch up with. Talent misalignment. Know where you are best fit. Don't just jump on everything that looks shiny and looks like the next big thing. Know where you are best fitted for. Know what you are good at. Pay attention to it. Dig deep than just digging than just building wide. Okay, be deeply rooted and solid in whatever it is finding your you are finding yourself in or out. Execution gaps also. Some people, their quality of work can be unnecessarily questionable. They build for the media. In a bid to build for the public, they build for the media. And you building for the public, while it is very great, because actually you shouldn't be building in silos, you should build for the public. But if you are only having a mediocre solution, a mediocre quality of work, and you are showcasing it to the public, that's probably like a bad rep for yourself. So in today's landscape, these are the things that people are easily falling prey of, but it is rather imperative that we call ourselves to order and pay attention to these gaps and see that we do not fall into them just anymore. I'll keep going. AI today, where the real value is, I spoke about it's not a matter of just another chatbot or that. Let's talk about AI powered workflows, domain specific agents, human in the loop system, guardrails, evaluation, and monitoring. Like these are key things, I promise you. Check GitHub. Like just in the last about 3, 4, 5 years, the volume of workflow system that have been built into GitHub. Let's start talking from Copilot to many other things. I promise you, it's a lot. Like it's a lot. It tells you that the system is changing. Talk into things like evaluation, handling robust systems, workflow, deployment workflows, monitoring, and many other stuff. I promise you, like these things are the kind of things that are reshaping and redefining the structure of engineering. Uh, Pardon my bias. I'm focusing more on engineering because that is what I do. But this applies to every other thing, every other areas of tech. Be you a designer, be you a cybersecurity specialist, be you a developer, be you whatever it is, a cloud, whatever it is. All of these concepts applies everywhere. Cloud is still very undervalued. This is me citing an example to cloud. It is very, very undervalued. Take AWS for an example. There are just so many services on AWS, and how many people can talk about like maybe half of them? these things, these tools are being plugged into many of the systems that are being built. We are having bigger and more robust systems now. An average system now is an enterprise system of 10 years ago. So all of these things are requiring a bigger approach of management for scale and for monitoring, for security, etc. So let's pay attention. Things like cloud, like let's dig deep into it. Like I had said, dig deep into it. Like for cost optimization, don't just be that guy that just, like imagine a developer or cloud person just doing how to count on AWS. That is debt on the company's purse. So like things like cost optimization, how do I offset this for this? How can I do trade-offs of this service for that service? Is there a way I can man, oh, this system is not so much a big system. Do we need to pay for SSL certificate? Is there a way I can bake a SAT-bot, whatever, into like the server? Can I sign the SSL just at server level instead of it being at domain level? This little key concept for observability. Things like, do we want to have like maybe backup servers? Do we want to like load balance our systems into like multiple servers depending on the dynamics of the request? Do we want to build, instead of going the approach of a monolith solution, do we want to keep it at maybe having like microservices? All of these thoughts, all of these thinkings are what defines anyone as like a solid engineer, cloud specialist, anything you claim to be. Again, I would say these concepts apply. So let's talk about the clear pathway just before I roll the curtain. The question people ask: what tech should I learn? Okay, I said it's the wrong question. The right question should be, what problem should I be dangerously good at solving? Tech is temporary, I promise you. Problem persists. The tech we were paying attention to 6, 7 years ago, it's not the tech we are paying attention to today. 6, 7 years ago, if you were talking about deployments with some of these interesting tools that we are seeing here and there today, it wasn't the case. CI/CD were even nearly manual. Like when you say, oh, we have this thing, it's automatic deployment, is automatic, we have a correct CI/CD pipeline built. Was it actually CI/CD? Was it actually that? No, things have changed so fast. Like a person can literally build an app, get it on a solid virtual private server just by clicking buttons here and there. These things are changing fast. Tech is changing, but the real thing is the problem persists. Problems as it affects like the immediate or the direct users need, business problems, societal problems, and all those interesting stuff. Whatever it is you're doing, how can you solve those problems directly, that the end user would actually feel the impact of your change, not necessarily just joining the hype of it. Skill pathway that compounds. System thinking, debugging at scale, reading other people's codes, designing for failure. Time would not allow me to go deep into all of this, but just what they say, you get it. So practical entry points. Yeah, I wrote here. If you are early into the space, pick a boring domain. I'm not a fan of what is shiny, like they fondly say, the Englishman. Not all that glitters are gold. Okay, pick a boring domain, automate one painful process, document it publicly. Yes, that is what it means to build in public, not just jumping on. Today you are being known for this, tomorrow you are being known for that. They can't really see a work that solves a problem. They just know that when we want to know the most recent tech tool, when we want to know the most recent stack, how to do this, this person knows it. But the real solution, this person, we can't trace it to this person. That's not the case. Do something that can solve a painful problem. Okay, like I said, here, automate a painful process and document it publicly. That is what it means to build in public. And if you're a mid or a senior, own a system end to end, have an idea of how things work. Just on this call, I've cited like end to end possibilities of systems for maybe a cloud architect, the same for maybe a back-end engineer. If you are building for scale, there are key things you need to factor into, like your engineering flow. There are things you need to factor into from the phase of planning down to the place of deployment. There are key things that must stay. There are key things that are unavoidable. The same thing if you're a cloud engineer, how do you want to handle for failure? How do you want to undo? How do you want to optimize for cost? How do you want to know all of these little things? If you don't bury your head deep into these things, many of these things can just sound very funny, foreign, and it skips your head, and that's not so good. Okay, and also mentor visibly. The more you teach, like just on this call, having to like jump on this call, a thing or two have been brought back to my remembrance that I would easily have forgotten. So mentor visibly, teach people, get people on board as much as you can. Lend a helping hand. You got it somewhere. Like I got it via association. I can equally share that via association. All right, strategy for the new year, folks. This year, let's make it a year of fewer tools but deeper mastery. Like I would always say, build deeply than you build wide. Building wide is great, but you can only build wide for long to the degree at which you are built deep. Okay, build in public, but build useful. Position yourself where failure is expensive. Yes, cloud is one of those interesting places. Failure is very expensive. Position yourself in places that one mistake, things can go haywire. It makes you get very careful. Competition is less where things are hard. That's a personal bias that I have. Wherever things are complex and hard, there are less competition there. Get yourself into those spaces. You just need time to get mastery. It doesn't happen overnight. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, this is what? Maybe just a little bit of practice here and there, and giving time to it. Time is a factor for growth. It's an unquestionable factor for mastery equally. All right, a simple framework to live with. I think this is the summary of whatever it is I'm saying here today. When evaluating an opportunity, there are three key questions you need to ask yourself. Is this inevitable? Is it currently painful? Can I ride it for 3 to 5 years? If every of these things have a check, please pay attention to it. It's one of the ways to easily sieve out and filter things that are just trends and that will wash away in a jiffy. All right. So, yeah, I have this to say to us. The future is not built by people who predict trends, it's built by people who position themselves early enough and stay long enough. This was me thinking aloud. Tech, is it still existent? Yes. No. Oh, okay, I figured it out. So yeah, that'll be all from me today to you all. I'm very sure and certain that you've been able to pick not a thing or two, but a whole lot of things off this about 20 something minutes of conversation. This place, I throw the ball out of my court, except if it's been thrown back to me. Thank you.
Really say that you're a great baller for that. Um, the last 26 minutes has been very insightful, considering the angle at which you came from and how you were able to address, these things one after another. I know that our audience have questions, but before we start attending to questions, I want to say thank you very much, sir, for that insightful time of opening our eyes. I must really say that was really, really eye opening. A couple of things that I personally have come to see, a particular angle that you've made me see the world of tech from. And I know that our audience too experienced the mind shift in the last, let me say, 30 minutes of you sharing with us. But before we go into questions, I want us to quickly take our second speaker so that we just take questions at once because of our time and because we don't want to rush, we want to take our time to answer questions. So let's just take our second speaker. But before our second speaker comes up, I would like to really, talk about her very briefly. Um, our second speaker is a front-end engineer at Bamboo, dedicated to crafting world-class digital experiences in the fintech space, with expertise in building robust user-facing applications. She leverages her engineering background to solve complex problems and drive product innovation. She's a strong advocate for technical excellence and mentorship. She helping the next generation of tech talents identify clear, actionable pathways for growth in a rapidly evolving industry. Beyond her work in fintech, she is passionate about building inclusive tech communities and supportive aspiring developers through mentorship and learning opportunities. She believes that with the right guidance and mindsets, anyone can build a successful career in tech. My wonderful people, I think this is the point where we do drum rolls. Drum rolls. Can we welcome our second speaker, the person of Taiwo Adetola? I think we should just give a standing ovation if that's possible where you are. Just let's put our hands together and welcome our second speaker. Keep welcoming till she joins us here. I can see her smiling already. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I don't know if she's here with us.
Can you hear me?
Good- Yeah,
Hello.
I think we can hear you now. Please confirm that you can hear us, ma.
Can you hear
I think there's a little bit of network glitch there.
me?
Okay, just before our second speaker joins us, please, if you have questions, please use the comment section. If you are joining us on Facebook, we are joining us on YouTube, please, you can just drop in your questions so that when it's time for us to attend to questions, we can take the questions from there. We'll try as much as possible to touch every question and so that everyone goes back field. I think our second speaker is here with us. Ma, if you can hear me, just signify that you can hear
Yes, I
me.
can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Hello,
All
can you hear
right,
me?
all right.
What? Hello,
Ah, we can't really hear you.
can you hear me, Uti?
I know you are here with us, but we can't hear you.
Hi, Uti, can you hear me?
All right,
Hi, Uti.
all right.
Hi, Uti, can you hear me? Hi, Uti.
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you
Okay.
now.
All right. So sorry about that. I think it's the network. All about now. Can you hear me? Hi, Uti. Are you there? Yes. Okay. You can hear me. All right. So, like the first speaker said earlier, our topic today is exploring tech opportunities, past lessons, and present possibilities. Of course, the clear pathways. When people talk about tech opportunities, it's always about what is trending or what is new, right? But today we are going to be doing something slightly different. We are going to, talk about I don't want to say things we've missed, or things we've underestimated. We're going to talk about what we can actually do, right? Because, like what is on my slide, this particular slide would talk about people who are curious about tech. I know so many people, would say, okay, people talk about tech a lot of time. What exactly can I do? What exactly can I contribute towards the tech industry, right? So this session is meant for beginners in their tech career looking for direction. Maybe you're just, starting tech career, like you're just coming into tech and you don't even know which direction you want to, come into. This session is for you, for people that want to switch their careers or people that are so overwhelmed with, trends, because of course there's so many things happening right now in the tech industry. And sometimes you are so confused on what exactly can I do, right? So this session is for you. I'm just quickly going to go through my slide because of time. So why people miss tech opportunities, sometimes I feel that when a certain tool, like Kingsley said, maybe AI, when AI came out, it was like, oh, what is happening? They feel they're not 100% ready. They feel that they are not, they can't do it, or what are they saying? I used to say to my friends sometimes, I would say, I remember when the washing machine came out, it's always about why is there a washing machine? We can actually do better with washing our hands, right? Why is AI? Is AI coming for our jobs? But the point is, AI will never come for your job. It's just for you to do well, or just aid, whatever it is that you're into. So they dismiss trends too early or too late. So a trend comes out and it's like, oh, what's happening here again? I'm not sure I want to be part of this. Then they focus on job titles instead of value. You ask yourself, it's not about the name of that role. It is the value it adds to the business. Oh, what is trending now? What is happening now? Is it as a product designer? Is it as a front-end engineer? What will give me a lot of money? Sometimes it's not about how much you can earn. It's about the value you're adding to the business. Because when push comes to shove, it is about the value that you have put into the business. Some are just scared, they don't want to start small. Because I understand that if you're just switching careers, it's difficult for you to say, I want to get into the tech industry. I want to leave. Maybe you've been in that career for, a long number of years. It's so scary to just leave all of that and say, let me come into tech. So yeah, those are the reasons why people miss the tech opportunities. So in the past years, many overlooked that AI will become a daily work tool. So of course, when AI came out, it was just like one cool tech. Oh, I can actually just prompt AI to say, write a letter, to do this and that. And it just like, it's actually cool. They didn't know that at a point in time, AI will become, something more than that. Like Kingsley mentioned earlier, 2023, just ChatGPT. And of course, people can just prompt it and it will just do whatever you prompt it to do. But now we have small large models, SLM, LLMs, a lot of things happening, And of course, there is the no code and low code that will become real ways to build products. It's not just when you code. That's the only way you say, oh, I'm building products. There's so many products right there that it does not even involve you, doing the normal code. Of course, remote work would stay and become more competitive. We didn't know that, at a point in time, there are so many people that will be at home. Look at the COVID era, where people were home 4 months. And of course, there will always be a way. And that was when the remote, thing, it really came handy. And so these are the things that we underestimated. So look at it now. In the past years, we have seen that so many things that we think that was not possible is what is in reality now. So the tech roles outside engineering. So you don't have to be a front-end engineer or a back-end engineer. There's so many roles are also really valuable than you just being like an engineer. So of course, you're in product, there's a support role, there's a data role. So those are the things we're also going to look into. So what we can learn with past lessons, right? Big opportunities usually start small. So of course, when you say you are adding a business value, or you're in a business and you want to add value, sometimes it doesn't come with big opportunities. It doesn't come with I have to have been this. I have to have gotten, like a knowledge of a lot of things. Just start small, right? Then I've also learned that when you are curious about maybe a particular tool, before you know it, when you are consistent about it, when I'm advising anybody that is coming into tech, you want to take up a tool, you want to use it, you can start with maybe 30 minutes in a day, 1 hour in a day. Then after that, you become consistent. Being in tech is just being consistent. Every one of us that are now in tech and maybe doing really well, we didn't start really big. We didn't start until it was really perfect. We started with, oh, okay, so I actually can do this. I remember my first code of line, and after learned in an academy for 3 months. I just like, okay, I don't know anything. I think I have to start again from the beginning. And it's just me being curious about, okay, so I can actually do something that will affect millions of users. So you have to be curious. You have to know that opportunities might not be really big. Start small, right? So these are the lessons I've also learned, right? Learning fast matters more than having a long list of certificates. Yeah, there's so many short courses. What are you using those short courses to do? So of course you have to also know that when you want to learn a particular technical skill, for example, okay, so what are you really interested in? You should know that, okay, because tech won't wait for you, you have to learn fast. Then tech rewards people who can adapt and learn quickly because, of course, the AI of 2 years ago is not the AI of 2026. So you have to know how to adapt and learn quickly. So our next slide is talking about present possibilities, where tech is today. So where is tech today? Now, we've been talking about AI, of course, because that is what is trending now. AI is being used to improve daily work and speed up processes. Yes. So if you prompt something into, AI, and you say, can you code, just one prompt for you to solve a particular issue, it would think for you faster. Of course, I used to say that AI will not give you like 100%. So you have to also identify that there are a lot of bugs that will come with using the AI. So of course, what it is right now is you are supposed to spend like 5 hours on a particular task. Now you're spending like an hour. Sometimes you're spending 30 minutes. But if you're not careful, you end up spending 10 hours because AI might give you like 5 hours of, doing all of that nice. One bug is being introduced, but you do not know how to solve that bug because you just rely on AI. You are going to spend another 10 hours trying to debug. So where tech is now is you use that AI to improve your daily work. So you get faster with what you do. Of course, fintechs, health tech, and climate tech are growing fast. You look at all of those industries and tech is being introduced. You go to the hospitals, no more cards, all of these are all online now. Cybersecurity and data privacy are becoming more important. Everyone wants to prevent, data breach and all of that. You want to protect your users' data and all of that. So cybersecurity, you can be interested in cybersecurity and data privacy. There are also tools that help developers build faster. So these are the things. This is where we are now with tech, digital products and creator tools. That you can also move into so many things: digital marketing, email marketing. So many things you can actually do online now. So these are just the examples of where tech is today. Of course, there's still many opportunities from what I said earlier. You can also not go into real coding, right? I've seen like an ad where they would say if you're like 40 plus or 50 plus and you don't know how to use AI, of course, come and pay so amount. So can help people teach your team. You can help teach them on how to use AI. There's QA and testing rules. You cannot successfully ship a product without testing. So if you're not interested in coding, you can go that route. Being a QA is quality assurance. You want to assure that this product doesn't break. So of course, tech roles in industries like healthcare, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to look for a full-time job. You can start testing the waters, right? You are in a particular industry, you can start with like a freelance or a contract with, moving into tech. You build solutions for local or undeserved markets. So those are the possible things you can do. So that's what's the clear pathway. The skills that matter most I've divided into 3, which is really important. So, I want to join tech, I want to come into tech. You need 3 things, right? Like a core technical skill. You need to think about what you feel that can be easy. Because I used to say that you have to be first interested in tech. You have to be first interested in solving a problem. You cannot say you want to join tech just because, you feel that people are making a lot of money. You get into it 3 months, 6 months, and you tell yourself, why is life so hard? Why am I suffering? Why am I going through all of this stress just because of, some more amount of money? So you have to also come in with the mindset of, I want to be a solution to a problem. I want to solve a problem. So it helps you to decide on what technical skill do you think I might be interested in. So when you have chosen the technical skill, then you can now talk about, oh, let me see the AI that will support it, because of course you are in that era now where you want to work faster with whatever it is you are doing. So you don't even know what this skill is about. Do not sometimes wait for someone to sit you down, because the truth is nobody has that time to sit you down and say, okay, come and learn so. AI is there now. Prompt it. I want to learn so. Can you give me basics? Like, talk to AI as if you are talking to like a 5-year. If AI will come and give you answers and you don't still understand, tell AI, just like a typical example, tell AI, talk to me like I'm 5-year-old, right? Before you know it, you start understanding, like, okay. So like someone told me this afternoon, when you are consistent with something for at least 30 days, there is no how you will understand what is happening. Do you understand? So after you have chosen a technical skill, you learn which of the tools will support, that particular role, then you build power skills. Because sometimes it's not about you know how to code, you know how to solve problems. There are so many departments also in the tech space. You must learn how to communicate, how to solve problems, and adapt to changes, because of course things are changing really fast, and our industry is a fast-paced one where what is happening today might not be what's happening in the next 6 months. So I want to talk about roles and career strategy also. Choose roles that will solve real business problems. Yes, you're coming into tech not just for the money. Money is a last thing. Choose roles that will solve real business problems. Start small, then pivot internationally as you learn. So you've been quite good about the role, maybe as an intern now, and you're thinking about, oh, I need to start applying. And you get your first role, and they're telling you, for example, in Nigeria, is 100K. Like, this is not what I've been told. Though. I've been told that when I come into tech, I'm going to earn like $1 million. You have to start small, because I kid you not, people that are now earning a lot of money in tech, there has been a time they've, started really small. Because, like I said earlier, the goal is to solve problems, right? And I also know that sometimes the passion will come up and you get motivated because you have a lot of money coming into your account. But then it starts somewhere. So start small. Okay, you've gotten your first role. Start building through projects and real work. Some years ago, there'll be a lot of portfolios online. Okay, I can build this. I remember Netlify, you deploy into Netlify. There's this app, there's this thing you can deploy to for people that are not into tech. It's called Netlify. So you deploy your product. So you're trying to convince people that actually can do this. Some people will clone Twitter, some people will clone Facebook. It's a good effort, to be honest, because that's the only way, when you get to Twitter, for example, you see people that just learn, they build publicly. And so someone was scrolling through, their timeline, and I'm like, okay, this person has been consistent for at least 5 or 6 months. Let's give the person a trial. So build through projects and real work, learn to work with AI. Like I said, not fear it. So many, I don't want people to know that I'm doing AI. Why? It's for you it's for things to be really easy for you. Okay, so what to expect in the new year, this is 2026. We talk about what has been happening, the past lessons, what's the clear pathway of you saying you want to move into tech is. Of course, in 2026 and going forward, what do we expect? We need more automation, especially for repetitive tasks. So you can wake up tomorrow and just see that something else is happening. Anything to just improve your work. So be ready for more automation, especially for repetitive tasks. Higher demand for adaptable people who can learn fast, right? So of course, a lot of competition. A company would rather always want to choose a senior engineer, for example, than an intern. So you also have to really learn fast and catch up, and you have to be smart. So sometimes it's not about, they should understand that tech is hard. No one it's business now. So you should learn that there'll be higher demand for people that can move with change. Oh, I do not know these 3 years. There's some skills that you have to learn on the job. Oh, you started with, for example, PHP, started with Node.js, blah, blah, blah. You are now in 2026. What is happening? You have to quickly be able to adapt. Of course, employers will focus more on results than job titles, then continuous learning. Yeah, in a company, you should know how to upskill. Oh, I'm a front-end engineer. I'm upskilling to be a mobile engineer. So you can't be redundant, because at the end of the day, tech is not also redundant. It's fast-paced. So look at this 30 to 90-day action plan. You are here. You have not decided what you want to do. You want to at least you want to hear from us to say, oh, what can I do in the next 30 to 90 days? Look at your skills and identify gaps, right? I've talked about it since. One skill where you can come in. Okay, so what's trending? AI, or what do I do to key into what is trending? Pick one opportunity area and focus on it. Build or improve on one project. Join a tech community. It helps when you are down, you feel this is so hard. You need someone to encourage you. You need someone to look at what you are doing, and maybe you are blocked, on maybe a skill. You find a mentor to say, okay, so this is what happened. You track your progress, right? Every small win counts. Okay, you're able to build a particular feature this week. You write it down somewhere, and you're able to say, okay, so it's not actually bad at the end of the day, right? So yes, tech opportunities don't disappear. This is what I tell myself every time. There'll always be opportunities. It's just for you to know what and what to key into. They just move to what people are ready for them. Are you ready? Are you ready to join the industry? Because there is no part of all of these industries that is not tech-based. You would learn. You have to learn, So your job is not to chase everything, but to position yourself intentionally. You have to position yourself intentionally. So this ends me convincing you that you can actually do it. Thank you so much. Uti, are you there? Hi, Uti.
All right, Mark, can you hear me?
Hi,
I don't know
Uti.
if
Can you
you
hear
can
me?
hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Ma. I'm not sure I can hear you, but thank you for that insightful session. One thing that really, really stood out for me was the 30 days plan that you gave us, because one of the issues people transitioning into tech is one of the questions that they always have, which is one of the questions I was going to ask, by the way, is how do I transition? Because I've been in a particular industry for a while, and I'm saying, okay, tech is the future, tomorrow it's tech, and I want to transition, or probably not even transition totally, but I want to infuse tech into what I do. How do I start? And that 30 days plan that you did, that you just created, that short outline, give an overview. I don't know if you can really just touch it a
Yes,
little
I
bit, maybe
can.
in 1 minute, just really touch it a little bit, so that I get to, for someone, there was someone out there, someone like me, that just wants to understand how I can go about executing that plan, just a little bit. So we just start from there. And please, if you have questions, you can start dropping it in the section, comment section. Thank you very much, Ma. Over to you.
Okay. I'm sure you can hear me. So, like I mentioned earlier, you want to switch your career. You are so tired of not being impactful, right? You want to, because sometimes, why do you want to switch your career? There must be a reason, because it is when there is a reason, then when you meet, those roadblocks, that's when you are determined and you know that, oh, I have to just do something about it. Why do you want to switch your career? Are you coming into tech because tech is what is happening now, or you want to solve a particular problem? You've identified some problems and you want to be part of the problem, right? When I started with tech, right, I'm always really happy that this is one product I had also built and millions of users are using. I'm happy that I'm able to solve a particular problem, right? So let's take a route. Maybe you are not comfortable with how people analyze data, right? Okay, so I can come and become a data analyst. And you start. How do I start? Within 30 days, what are the things I'm supposed to have known to say, oh, I'm on the road to become a data analyst, right? So you map out a plan. You talk to somebody maybe that is in the field that can mentor you. And I used to say, even if you can't find anybody, there's AI now. There's AI now for you to just prompt the AI. I want to become a data analyst. What are the steps? How do I begin? What are the basics, right? And of course, you tell yourself, I want to do this 2 hours in a day. I want to do it 1 hour in a day. If I start from 30 minutes, because sometimes it's just gibberish, like, what's that? I do not know what this is all about. But start with 30 minutes. After 1 week, if you feel that this is something you can actually do, you are the one that will increase the number of hours in a day. But before you know it, you are doing 2 hours in a day. Before you know it, you are doing like 4, 5 hours in a day. Sometimes when I have a task, I'll spend really long hours. But because there's AI now, I spend shorter hours. So look at the route we just did with data analysts, right? Data analysis. And you start and you know that, okay, after 6 months, what have I learned? We are still in your job. So this is like a typical example, just an example. We are still in your job, but you already have an idea of what it entails to be a data analyst. After like 6 months, 7 months, you want to try being an intern. You start applying for, I mean, you are just 6 months into it. You don't want to start applying for like a senior data role. You want to first of all apply as an intern. If you are not shy, or I don't want to say too big to say, how will I be an intern? You are going to learn a lot as an intern, right? Then, of course, you get somewhere. If you're also good at what you do, you've been consistent for months, for 6 months. There's so much you know already. Then you start the internship. Then after the internship, you are so good and they are retaining you. I mean, this is value to our business, so you have to be part of us. And that's how it starts. So this is just a typical example of how you can switch gradually. Of course, you're not going to leave your job and say, okay, I want to go into tech, I want to leave my job. Of course, stay in your job, try small before you move into tech.
Thank you very much, Ma. I don't know if Mr. Skinsley is still with us. We have questions already coming in, but I would like to really ask these questions before we take our questions online. Um, my question is directed to Mr. Kingsley, and this is the question. Before AI came into being a thing, we didn't really know what the future of tech was. We just knew that, okay, they were building websites and building apps and all of that. And now everything has artificial intelligence infused into it. Is AI the final stop, or is there somewhere we are going to from here? That's my question.
That's a very, very interesting question. Okay, in the early 2000s, when the www advent was popular, if you had asked them what 2026 would be, nobody would tell you would have ChatGPT. They'll probably make sense or make inference of the future based off what they can see. Innovation is ever continuing. Okay, so we should just the future we can see now. Let's make the most of it. Things will change. It's Elon who was saying a while back that very soon we would not be having our phones with us in our hands. That tells us what the next 10 years will probably look like. Maybe I'll have my phone, planted in my brain. Maybe. Just a while back, we had Meta show us some tools. I would have just like your Apple Watch, but no, not the Apple Watch. And I can't remember the name of that demo. The demo failed, so they did not push through it. So I'm sure they are probably cooking something for this year. Just with that handband, I can do a lot by controlling things around me, just by something one in my hand. 10 years ago, if you tell someone that would happen in 10 years' time, they will tell you it's a fluke. So my
Mhm.
point is, AI can never be the destination. it will definitely metamorphose into many things. The human mind is ever innovative. The human mind is ever creative. So your role, my role as human now is to see that how can I make the most of my creativity with the resources that is available currently. So if you want to be concerned about the next 100 years, you may not even be here. So why worry about that?
Mm.
Just take advantage of what is around you. What if you want to if you can see what is happening around, find a way to contribute to it. Find a way to put yourself in a place where you are also a contributor one way or the other to this ecosystem. That way you can predict the next 1 year, maybe next
Yeah.
5 years. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody can dare that right now because things are fast changing. So you know what? Instead of trying to wait and predict, why not create the future instead of predicting
All
it?
right.
So
Thank you very
uh,
much, sir.
that's
All right, thank you very much, sir. So someone has a question directed to you, Mr. Kingsley. It says, as a student, I'm interested in exploring tech opportunities in Nigeria. What are some of the most significant areas that have been overlooked, and how can I capitalize on them? I don't know if I should take the question again or you
no, no.
get it
I
already.
got the question.
All right,
I
all
got
right.
the question. So I think my fellow speaker addressed something key. There are many resources around now. I will use myself as an example. Like I said, my pursuit for tech started a long time ago, say about 10 years now, was when it all started. I didn't start as an engineer. I started as a designer. You know, I started as there was only, maybe not so only, but it was more popular CorelDRAW and Photoshop. Those are like the most popular graphics tools we had then. Those are like the tools I was using to like do this and that. Later I realized that okay, people always complain about my colors. This color is not matching this. And I was kind of so good in using this tool. I did a quick move. Okay, I could write instructions for a computer to do things. Come on, let me jump at this. It was equally consistent with like my course of study. Hey, why not? Let me make something, and then it built into A, into B, into C. My fellow speaker said something that is key. You shouldn't be paying attention to the destination. Pay attention to the journey. The process is key. All right. So
All
you
right.
as a student, what is around you now? AI is around you. There is was it a 30-day or a 90 days plan for any beginner that she showed. Like, keep that in consideration. Udemy, when I was learning, Udemy was like that big guy. I did a lot of Udemys, a lot of Udemys. You could do that also. Pay for a course. Oh, you want to learn, say, cyber security. There are myriads of courses there. There are certifications you can start taking. There are simple certifications you can start taking that will not even require more than maybe I can't remember the details, but there are certificates that may require just maybe 1 month of preparation, and you have to pay maybe about 50,000 naira for them. Simple local certificates, and you grow into like when you start writing like major networking, cyber security related certification. So take it from the base level. Take courses. That's my honest advice. There is YouTube. There are a lot of content on YouTube that can help. So depending on the peculiarity of whatever niche you are looking to delve into, take courses. Do the discipline. If it is 1 hour you want to come, just the same discipline you might have channeled towards your academics, something similar, that same style of discipline, put it towards this. I have an end goal. Oh, I want to become an intern at this in 1 year. So you have a 9 months plan that in 9 months you want to start putting applications out for internship. That is just my thought. It can be shorter than that or longer than that, depending on what works for you. So just make a plan. Take advantage of resources, AI, video content on YouTube, on Udemy, depending on research about that niche you want to get into, and start looking at if it's a certification dominated space, maybe like cyber security, or maybe like the cloud space. Like start looking at the one closest to you, the cheapest one you can take, and you move fast from there. So just look at what is around you and take the most of it. Don't try to like gun for the biggest dough out there. what is the most smallest low-hanging fruit you can cut, and you start climbing the ladder gradually.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So let me direct this question to our second speaker. Ma, you were saying something. From your profile, discovered that you've handled certain leadership roles, or let me say you've led young people or the next generation in the tech ecosystem. So this question is a very, very bugging question, which someone asked, said, what are some common mistakes tech professionals make when trying to break into leadership roles, and how can we avoid them? That is the question.
All right. So if I hear your question, what are what?
What are the common mistakes tech professionals make when trying to break into leadership roles, and how can we avoid them?
Okay, so I'm not going to answer professionally, but as you saying you want to take in mentors, I mean mentees, you're a mentor, you want to take in mentees, right? Um, First of all, do not assume that people know a lot. So you would not need a particular mentor if you actually know a lot, or if there is no gap in that knowledge that you're seeking for. As a leader, the first thing is to assume that we are all going to learn here. So nobody's an island of that knowledge of, okay, I've been in tech for so number of years, so I know more than you do. It doesn't work like that in tech. You'll be surprised that even a junior engineer, there's some things, that a junior engineer would know that maybe it's not that you would not quickly grab it, even if have the opportunity, but it's just that you cannot know everything on the internet. So first of all, do not assume that you know it all, right? And also know that you have to be really tolerant with a lot of questions. As someone just coming into tech, there's so many things that you're just so confused about. Imagine you are just coming into tech and the person is asking you that, okay, when I click on login, the login button, what happens? Where does it go? The person does not understand what backend does, what database is. So you have to really be patient to, know that if I'm taking in mentees, for example, you have to be kind. I think that's the word I'm looking for. You have to be kind enough to be really patient on how to, you know, um, to transfer that knowledge. There's so many things you can't just, say now, but those are these things I can remember.
Thank you very much. I believe that you've been around in the tech ecosystem in Nigeria, and you've been around for a while, and then you've seen certain things. So I want to ask, what opportunities do you see for investment and growth in the Nigeria's tech ecosystem, and how can professionals get involved? How can the growth in the what are the investment opportunities in the Nigerian ecosystem, and how can professionals get involved? This is a question from one of our viewers, and I'd love you to throw light into it, Ma.
Okay, so disclaimer: when I hear investment, you have to be careful, of course. You not come and advise anybody to say, oh,
Yeah,
come move into this so that you not start ill. But yeah, I know that there was a time, especially my company, Bamboo, we do investment in US stocks. That was what we started with. So if you want to buy shares, maybe with Apple, with Microsoft, and you do not have really lots of money, you just want that fractional, share, you're able to buy it. Okay, you have 10,000 naira, as low as 10,000 naira, you're able to be part of Apple. There was an era, that era. And with time, everyone started embracing NGX stocks. So what is happening now? So you have to move the trend. So for example, what is happening now is the Nigerian stocks. You will see that even at the beginning of the year, and we're trying to, just look at what is happening in the stock market, you will see that the Nigerian stocks are really doing well. There was a time you would not move near them, right? So you just have to look for what is happening, what the trend at a particular time. No one will come and tell you that This is the best. Yes, but because this is market, it's not predictable sometimes. But you have to study the market, look at the trends, and say, oh, this is an opportunity. And of course, you have to take that opportunity as soon as you can. It's just like for people that are into the forex, you know how you used to say, okay, you have to grab this, or except unless, I mean, if you're not grabbing it, then you're losing a lot of money. Markets like that, investments growth is like that, tech is also like that. You're not going to stop with, oh, what I know is just React.js, and I cannot go through, learning other skills. As a professional that wants to take, advantage of growth in all spaces now, I'm not even talking about just tech. All any industry you find yourself, you want to take advantage of that growth, look at what is trending at that point in time and key into it. Hope that answers my question. I mean, answers the person's question.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you so much. One thing that I've grabbed is that, when you are seeking to know, you meet a lot of opportunities on the way. And that is one thing that I really want to note. And one final question so that we can, wrap up this session because our time is fast spent. And I'll just direct this question to Mr. Kingsley so we just wrap it up for today's edition of the SkillUp EdTech webinar. Um, Looking at the opportunities many students missed in the early 2020s, what is the one blind spot in current university or bootcamp curriculums that we should be teaching ourselves right now? I don't know
Do
if
you
I
want
should
to
go
go
over
through
that
that
again.
just once again? It broke at some point. I missed it.
Okay, looking at the opportunities many students missed in the early 2020s, what is the one blind spot in current university or bootcamp curriculums that we should be teaching ourselves right now?
If there's anything that anybody should be learning now, it's how to move fast, how to learn fast. I think that's like the that's like the skill you need, because it's not going to be fair for me to be calling names of tools, techs, stacks, and it's going to narrow it. If you are in a a university environment and you are fortunate to be in universities or environment that have the likes of, say, Google developer groups, some Microsoft clubs, and all that. You want to do yourself the advantage of being a part of it. Like, join groups. You don't want to move in silos. So the only blind spot is what is not existent. So you want to see that you can learn fast from whatever communities you're a part of, whatever it is they are doing. For example, meet are oftentimes amongst student environments. You find them push out things around like AR, VR, and the likes. You can try it. It's called exploring. Explore it. Give it a shot. Oh, does this fascinate me? Well, is there a future in this? Just like those three metrics that I gave. Does this solve a problem? Is it going to be existent in the next couple of years? What's the future of this? Give it a shot, check it, try it. There is no one place, there is no one spot. So it would be unfair to say, oh, there is this one thing that everybody is missing. No. The person who has the question is probably waiting for me to say, hey, hi. But no, not necessarily. AI has successfully crept into every other boring stuff. So every other boring stuff still hold relevance. Just make sure that whatever it is you're doing or you are looking into it deeply and you're trying to solve a pertinent problem with it. That way, you have an assured future in that career, in that space.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Ma. It's been an amazing conversation. The last 1 hour plus has been an amazing conversation. And for those of you who joined in late, we've been discussing exploring tech opportunities, past lessons, present possibilities, and the clear pathways. And trust me, our speakers have done justice. Justice. When we were starting this session, I personally had questions that I jotted down. I was going to ask, and during the course of the session, they touched the questions. and they answered them if that, without me even asking the questions. And so it's been an impactful session, it's been an impactful time. Trust me, you don't want to be missing this. This is a monthly event. This happens monthly, and so tune in, stay connected to all our social media handles at SkillUp EdTech. You can, there are a lot of insightful stuff, insightful content there. You also get updates on when the next edition is coming, and also join. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite your enemies too. Once everyone is doing well, it makes the society, it makes our world better. And this is how we should live. This is how we should live, thinking about the future, thinking about the future. Just before we call it call it a day, I really like to touch some of the programs that we have here at SkillUp. One of them is the Tech Tribe. Tech Tribe is a SkillUp community, and it's a training pathway for individuals who want to start your journey into tech. You want to transition into tech. You need like a learning demand digital and tech skill. You want to learn that skills which are in demand presently. This is an opportunity. You also get access to guided learning, mentorship, and also a supportive community. When Mr. Kingsley was starting his session, he made us understand, and he also emphasized it over and over again, that his journey into tech started with a community of people around him. And trust me, you need people who are of like minds, and this is what the Tech Tribe creates for you. It creates a community of people where you not just learn, but you grow together. To supervise learning, worth it, and everything you want it to be. It is everything you will get. Also, we have the TechX student. It's also a skill up school focus initiative. It is designed to equip secondary school students with future ready digital skill. It's primarily based at secondary school students, and it's to equip them with future ready digital skills. Also introduce young learners early to tech, problem solving, and innovation. Um, it's also to support schools with structured and age appropriate tech education. We cannot doubt that tech is creeping into our everyday life, even down to the grassroots and down to the children, the kids. Just before we started this show, one of our organizers was sharing that, you know, a 3-year-old can now operate tech devices, and that's how much tech is becoming part of our lives. And so this initiative is to equip the next generation with tech programs, with tech skill, everything they need to be ready for the future. And you need to be a part of this. There's limited offers for those who are interested. Please look up our social medias for you to be a part of all of these wonderful things that we've put together. And let's come together, let us grow together. um I'd like to close with this. Everything we've discussed today becomes clearer and achievable when you are on a guided learning path, and that's exactly what SkillUp exists to provide. Come and join us, come and be a part of this community. Thank you for joining us. See you next month. Bye.